video, we are going to review the long-term performance of the Galaxy S23 FE, one of the most popular phones in the market. Before we start, if you have this phone, please leave a comment and share your experience with us. Let us know if you like it and if it's a good phone or not. After that, like this video, and if you are not yet one of our subscribers, hit the subscribe button now and get ready, because we are about to dive into the long-term review of this phone. First, let me talk about the design of this phone. Some people think that the Galaxy S23 FE is heavy for its size, but I didn't feel that way. On the contrary, it feels like a premium phone. This is because of its aluminum body and glass back. In my opinion, for its price range, it's really hard to beat. For example, if you want to buy a phone like the Xiaomi 13T Pro, that one is made of plastic and has thick screen edges. However, the Galaxy S23 FE also had some issues. To be honest, when I first took the phone out of its fancy black box and turned it on, I was a bit disappointed. But after I put a glass screen protector on it and added a case, it started to look better, and I honestly liked it more. Even the silver ring around the selfie camera didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. Remember, I'm comparing this phone to the X3 Pro, which was my previous phone. When I compared them, the S23 FE had 1% more screen-to-body ratio than the X3 Pro, but this small difference wasn't noticeable to me. I don't have big hands, and that makes the S23 FE feel more comfortable to hold compared to the X3 Pro. In my opinion, the size of the phone is just right. What more would you want to do with a phone? Another important point I want to mention is that I've been using this phone with a case and a screen protector the whole time. It's been in situations where it could have gotten scratched, but the build quality and materials are so good that I don't think it will be damaged easily. The 6.4-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display on this phone reached a brightness of 1,315 nits in Zoomits tests, which is less than the 1,450 nits Samsung claims. But under the sunlight, with maximum brightness, I had no problem seeing the content on the screen. Also, in the dark, with minimum brightness, which goes down to about 2 nits, I was really satisfied. The S23 FE has a 120 Hz display and a fingerprint sensor under the screen. Unlike Samsung's flagship phones, it's optical, not ultrasonic. So to get the fastest experience, it's better to register your fingerprint in 2 ways. First, while holding the phone in your hand, and second, by placing your finger flat on a surface like a table or the floor, then adding it again. Overall, you need to press a bit harder on the screen. For me, since I usually play mellow and calm music in the corner of my room without turning the volume up too much, it's perfect. But if you want to play metal or hip-hop at full volume, it might not sound that great, which is normal. Now, it's time to talk about one of the biggest advantages of the S23 FE compared to its competitors, the camera. For me, it was a huge blessing. I love street photography and taking pictures of doors, walls, buildings, and landscapes. Until I bought the X3 Pro, and its camera was so bad that even in the best lighting conditions, you couldn't take a good photo without feeling disappointed. But the S23 FE, with its 3 cameras, made me fall in love with mobile photography again. I was able to take really good photos, and you can see some of them now. In night mode, with the big improvements it makes to photos, you can actually take great pictures in the dark. Honestly, the S23 FE is an amazing option for photography, and I never get tired of taking photos with it. The selfie camera also works really well, and you can see some sample photos here. In terms of video recording, to be honest, in the past 3 months, I haven't done any special video shooting, but it supports 8K at 24 frames per second and 4K at 30 frames per second, so the videos should come out good. This phone uses the Exynos 2200 processor, which was also in the Galaxy S22. In heavy tasks, long video recording, or playing demanding games, it can get a little warm, but for me, it wasn't bothersome. It also seems that it doesn't heat up as much as the S21 FE. Overall, I might not be the best person to talk about the processor of this phone because I'm not much of a gamer. But if you're a mobile gamer, I wouldn't recommend this phone. The display isn't very large, and its hardware might not be as strong as its competitors. For gaming, a phone like the X3 Pro might be more suitable. However, I can't deny that the S23 FE is very smooth and fast, largely due to Samsung's software and user interface, which I really like. Samsung has really customized Android to make it feel like its own operating system. I haven't seen any issues like the phone heating up when using Android 6.1 or connecting to Bluetooth speakers in cars, nor does the battery consumption increase. Even when using navigation apps, the phone didn't get hot. The only time it heated up was during charging, which is normal. Besides that, I don't recall it heating up in a way that was bothersome. Overall, the battery isn't great, and I'll tell you more about that later. A big advantage the S23 FE has over the A-series phones is Samsung DeX. This special feature is available only on certain Samsung S-series phones and a few other models. With DeX, you can use your phone like a computer or laptop. You connect your phone to a monitor using an HDMI adapter. Then you get a desktop version of Android on the monitor. This lets you do things on a bigger screen that might be hard on the small screen of the phone. With Samsung DeX, you can easily have a desktop system. You can also connect to a TV using Wi-Fi, but it might have some lag and delay, so I don't recommend it much. Now let's talk about the main problem I have with the S23 FE, the battery. I think the battery on this phone isn't enough for a full day of heavy use. If you're out all day using mobile data and running several apps, you will definitely need a power bank or a charger. The phone charges at 25 watts, but it's still slow, taking more than an hour to fully charge. Compared to my old X3 Pro from 3 years ago, which has a lower charging speed but a 4,500 milliamp-hour battery, this phone's battery life feels disappointing. But instead, I have a better display, a much better camera, a much improved user interface, and overall a much better phone. After all the time I spent thinking about it, I'm really satisfied with my choice. The S23 FE is a complete package that gives you a premium experience with Samsung's features. Its cameras are great for photography and content creation. The display is high quality, and it will be updated to Android 17. The user interface is excellent and really enjoyable. The only downside might be the battery, which isn't very impressive. And as Hadi mentioned, it might have a bit of lag under heavy use, but it's not a big deal. You can always use a power bank to manage this. So, should you buy this phone? By the time this video is out, or even when you're watching it, the S24 FE might have been announced, which could lower the value of this phone. However, keep in mind that the market can be unpredictable, and the price might suddenly increase. Second, this phone has proven itself. So for those who don't want to take risks, it might be a better option. Now, if you're considering whether to buy the S23 FE or look at other options, one choice is the Galaxy A54. It's a very good phone available at Zoomit. It has a slightly larger screen and a bigger battery than the S23 FE, along with other advantages. However, I'd suggest waiting for the S24 FE to come out. If it turns out to be a good phone, it might be worth considering. If you want to spend a bit less, the A54 might be a better choice. Let me be clear. I've had phones from many brands over the past few years, including Lenovo, Samsung, Nokia, Honor, and Huawei. Even the Samsung phones I had years ago, like the first AT2 series with a glass back and aluminum edges, were impressive. I've had phones from Nokia, Honor, and Huawei, and after almost 10 years, I bought a Samsung phone again. I can say with confidence that Samsung is something special. Even though I had a popular Xiaomi phone for 3 years, I believe Samsung is truly better. Thank you, and goodbye.